Greetings, YouTube. We on Prison Affairs, Chapter 21. Last but definitely not least. I'm going to try to read as much as I can, and hopefully we can get through this whole chapter. Last but definitely not least. Carl and I still maintained our friendship. We grew very close over the next and last few months. Consequently, my desire to meet him in person increased. As of May 2004, we were still in the question and answer stage of our relationship, since he did not reply when the others had. His motivation was to give me all the information I could need or want about men on lock so I would not be hurt. This is my reply to one of our weekly letters. Carl, I really appreciate you trying to look out for a sister. As for Tyrone's game and anyone else's, all I can say is God has my back. If my man gets off lock and decides he has some proverbial oats that he needs to sow, that is on him. Yes, I will be hurt, but what God has for me is for me. If pain and heartache is it, then so be it. However, I understand what you are saying. I have no doubts, but I will not let my guard completely down until this man comes home. He may not like me once he is with me 24/7, and I may not like him for that matter. But nothing ventured means nothing gained. We will see on that one. I asked God if Tyrone was not for me to remove him from me, and sure as shit, my next letter from him was a request for money. Carl, you are right. His game was lame. He would say, I love you, miss you so much. By the way, could you make sure you do this or that? He didn't even have the tact to at least try to front. This shit is actually funny now. But if I had to do it all over again, I would do the same thing because everything does happen for a reason. Even so, every choice we make has consequences and repercussions. My sister just commented on Friday how Tyrone's first letter has changed my present and future. I am now engaged to a man I would never have met and found a soul, you, whom I would never have met as well if I had not answered Tyrone's letter to someone else and he was not being a jerk. Now to answer your questions. Why do these guys have feelings for me? I think some men on lock have been deprived so long that they latch on to anyone who shows them some attention. Others just want outside contact and someone to help them pass their time. Can men coming off lock be faithful to their woman? Yes, if it is in their heart to do so. Men don't have to cheat just because they are male. I think it depends on the amount of sexual experiences a man has had before he was put on lockdown and his morals and values. Do I believe love comes easy? Yes. For me, love comes easy because it is in me to love and share my love with others. However, as easy as it comes is as easy as it can go. Yeah, I may cry over spilled milk, but when a woman's fed up, it ain't nothing you can do about it. Not this woman, anyway. As far as love literally coming to me, my answer would be no. I can count the times I thought I have been in love on one hand. Do I think a person looking for love will find it? Maybe. I don't know because I never looked. My uncle told me when I was a little girl that he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Proverbs 18:22. Not she who finds a husband. My family thinks I'm crazy because I'm not actively looking for a mate. I told them I was waiting to be found and they just looked at me like I'm stupid. Now that I have found love in a jail cell, they are ready to have me committed. Time will tell. The main thing I love about Carl is the fact that he is always supportive. It was his letters that made me smile when Darnell did not have time to write me because of all the essays he had to write. I had no money for visits, and Texas does not allow phone calls, so I had no communication. I was tired of writing Darnell with no response, and I became distraught. Carl wrote, Dear Christine, yeah, it's me once again getting at you. How is my best friend doing these days? The kids, your friends, loved ones, lover? You know I hope for the best. As for me, I'm holding it down once again on lockdown. But this is a different lockdown. This is a unit lockdown, so hopefully it will only last a couple of days. I hope you are not doing that mushy stuff again, crying. I know it's nothing wrong with it. I just don't like to see my soul cry. You feel? Stay strong because your man is on his way home. He is almost at your doorstep. Pre-release, remember? Keep giving your man encouraging words even if he can't write. But to keep it real, he should write. I'm still trying to understand why he don't. A lot of times we have to learn how to read the signs that we may not usually see. To me, it is no excuse when it comes to mine. But people stroke with different folks. I want I just want you to be happy. You know what I'm saying? I can't have you running into a brick wall because your heart isn't made for it. But I must admit, you are a very strong woman. Just remember, we're going to ride this out together, so it's like tires on a car. When one goes flat, we're all stuck together. I know I've been saying certain things about your man, and I know it can make you have doubts. But truly, I don't mean it like that. I just want you to be ready for whatever comes. A person's heart isn't nothing to play with, and I will never try to say things to push you away from me. I just got done talking to the mailman and received a special delivery card. Damn, woman, you're full of heartbeats. Thanks for the card. I really liked it. You mentioned you were glad I decided to touch your life and leave footprints in your heart, but I also feel your footprints, and that's the realest. You remember that surprise I was telling you about? Well, keep them pretty eyes open. By the way, the card you sent me smells lovely. It made my heart tingle. You almost had me sleepy with it. What are you trying to do to me? You have gone and done it with this Patti LaBelle signature fragrance. I'm hooked. Spoiled rotten and can't do without it. I gotta have it. You alone is my soul. Please remember, without you, it would be no me. Thanks for just being you, Christine. You make a big difference in my life. Stay sweet and write soon. Your soul, Carl. I was glad to reply. Greetings, brother. What's shaking? What's popping? Everything is everything on this end, thank God. Thank you for my poem, so you are turning into such a sweetie. To God be the glory if I shine any light in your dark spaces. You shine on me yourself. I don't remember telling you I had been crying, but I forgot you read between the lines more often than not. You are quite welcome for the card, and I'm glad you like it. Now, what is with this surprise I'm supposed to be keeping my pretty eyes open for? I like surprises, so I can hardly wait. I thank you in advance. Even though I don't know what it is, it's the thought that counts. And I'm sure coming from you, it will be something I love. A few months later, I received Carl's surprise. He arranged for someone to send me a dozen silk, long stemmed, pink and white roses. How sweet. Carl continued to correspond once or twice a week. I was not keeping up. After his usual introduction of well wishes, he writes, Yeah, it's about time you hit a nigga with a track, so you had me sweating, woman. I know you have a man, but you still my best girl, right? Right? I already know your letters will get short when your man comes home. I told you that it will happen like that. He might try to get you to stop writing altogether. I see it written all over your letters. I don't blame him for what he does. You are a very touching woman. But to be honest, nothing surprises me on what he might demand from you. But weigh this thought out and you will know what I mean. People are a little different or act a little different once they are out because they are in more control of things. Just remember, some things are not only feelings but also reality. I already feel what's going to happen when the time comes, but it's best to keep some comments to myself, huh? I can just hear you now saying, "Speak your mind, nigga." Hey, Carl. I knew I would hear from you today, and I did. Your card brought the hugest smile to my face. You are too much. It is so cute, sweet, and nice. Thank you, soul. If you keep this up, I'm going to start to think you are cutting for me. I wish I could meet some brothers on the streets like some of the ones I have met on lock. I guess God knows what He is doing. Well, so, Christine is doing good. I'm doing better now that I have one more card to add to my collection. And I sorry for lacking in my macking. It is without intent for show. I'm glad you're not tripping, but I feel you. Mama has been busy. I have to start making time to holler at you because I'm kind of upset when I don't hear from you. So I'll do better and try really hard when Daddy gets home as well. Since you have told me the money is coming, I am going to start planning my trip to see you. I'm really glad you could help me because I really want to visit you. I'll call beforehand to make sure I am on your list and make sure you all are not on lockdown. And yes, Carl, I am making big plans for when Daddy touches down. I have written him and I some real freaky letters that would make your toes curl up. I know it's going to be different from the fantasies we have created, but God willing, it will be better. We are just counting the days until he comes home. Now let me give you a clue before my hand falls asleep. I allow no one to make demands on me. Even my bosses at work make requests. I'm pretty sure that is what you meant when referring to Darnell, but I had to make that plain. What is it that you think will happen when he comes home? Do tell. You have me curious than a mother. Oops. Although I am curious, I wasn't saying speak your mind, nigga. I was calling you a hater. Hater Johnson. Time will tell, so all will be revealed in time. A week later, Carl wrote, Christine, this letter will be short if I don't hear from you tonight. I'm sending you this bracelet I had made with your name on it. I hope you like it. So, what did the doctor say about your arm? I hope to hear some good news about it. I received your letter about the books and decided not to order none, but thanks anyway, Christine. To be honest with you, Soul, I really didn't like that letter. I'm not trying to make you put your guard up when your man comes home or make it seem like he will act like this or that. But you do make me think I should keep a lot to myself. I don't want you getting the wrong idea about certain things, so it will always be real with me, no matter what. I feel if you have something to say, even if I don't like it, say it, 'cause that is the way I am. It's probably one thing that will make me go crazy, and that is if you stop writing me, so I understand you and your man has to do a little Tupacing when he comes home, but please don't leave me for dead. Well, you take care and write when you get the time. Always your soul, Carl. Bye. At the present, Carl has sent me enough cards to cover a wall. All of them are thoughtful and precious to me. I asked him to stop sending so many because all of his cards would have to be removed when Darnell came home. I wrote the following. I'm sorry if I offended, upset you in that last letter, or this one for that matter. The only thing I can think of that bothered you was me calling you Hater Johnson. Carl, please don't do no tripping behind what I say. You already know I don't mean any harm. You said yourself that we should be able to say anything to each other, and I won't argue with you, but I would like to talk about what I say and or how I say it. Daddy just sent me a letter as well talking about he can't believe the shit that comes out of my mouth. I'm just keeping it real. Maybe I'm keeping it too real, and some things I should keep to myself. I guess that's why I don't have any friends. Thanks for my bracelet, Carl. It's cute. Now Dante wants a blue one. I've been wearing it since I checked the mail. I think I'm going to hang it in my car because it's a little cheesy to wear every day. But I love it because you sent it. I guess I shouldn't have told you that I think it's cheesy, huh? Well, hell. If I can't speak freely, I don't need to write. If you decide I'm not your soul, we just have to deal with that. Who knows what I might say? I know I just can't say any and everything to people, but I expect you and I to talk about whatever bothers you or me, and I will do the same. You know I'm going to keep it real with you. Now I'm going to bed. Holler back. Good night. My soul replied, Christine, to me you will always be spoiled, but I never did it or do it to get you to like me or even have feelings for me. And I know you are not the kind of woman to take gifts as a sign of love. I love you being my friend and soul at heart. I couldn't ask for a better woman as my soul. I don't want you having doubts about Darnell being the right man God wants you to have, because I want you to be happy for what you are feeling for him. Ride or die for him, but also stay strong enough to hold your own strength. Coming between you and Darnell won't make me no bigger as a man. I'm not that type anyway. I don't feel jealous of no man. It's not what you see that counts, it's how you feel about each other. You say you are not used to being friends with a male without it being sexual. Come on now, Christine. Being sexual with a male isn't the ticket. You can be sexual with each other and still not be in love with each other. But I understand what you mean. I was just giving you something to think about. I think men and women look for too much in a male or female these days, and it still won't be enough. I feel we should be grateful for each other. You don't have to be careful at not getting confused. Just be yourself and stop worrying. When a person expresses how they feel, it should make them more comfortable around that person. We all need to feel that way around a person we can trust. And I'm not trying to make it look like Darnell isn't going to do this or that. Everyone isn't the same, and I could be wrong. So I will just leave it at that and remain a Hater Johnson. I will tell you this much. I just can't stop sending you cards. I might slow down a little, but I can't stop. I don't care what you do with them as long as you see them when you get them. Oh, I forgot to ask you for Darnell's address so I can write him and warn him about all the whips and chains you got for him. Ha ha ha. But on the real, don't pee whip him because he won't be giving you no air. I'm glad you like the bracelet. Now you say Dante wants a blue one. Did you ever think he wanted that color for some game? We will kick it on all subjects when you visit. And why are you so curious on seeing me? What if I am a midget? I wrote 8/5/2004. Greetings, soul. What's up? I'm curious to see you because it will help me know better who I am talking to. It is not so much your physical characteristics that have me curious. I feel you, or anyone can gauge a person better by seeing their body language and facial expressions. I can look past your eyes and see your soul if you let me. So please don't wear a mask when I visit. Now, how's my dearest soul doing? You know I hope the best. I hope I remember to talk to you about everything when I visit. Knowing me, I will forget something. We will talk more about my issues and me in our letters, so this will be a good time for you to talk This will be a good time for you to talk and me to listen. I want to hear about your family, parole, where you're going, and how the inmates and COs cut up where you are. I plan to be there well before noon on Saturday, God willing to chop it up with you. Okay, Hater Johnson. Oops. LOL. I mean, Carl. You need to tell me your view of the outcome of how things will turn out. Humor me, huh? There may come a time when you may say something I need to hear or never even considered. I won't know until you tell me. When you wrote some people accept what comes along, I had to pause. Carl, I accept what comes along and I deal with it, and I feel I have something to prove, i.e., my hater family or myself, right or wrong. Speak your mind, soul, and as you say, let your souls deal with it. Let our souls deal with it. I'm going to ask my son why he chose the color blue for a bracelet. I just thought he liked the color blue. I don't think he will lean towards being in a game because Brian is not in one. But I am going to be careful about such things. He is starting junior high, and that is a tender age to be led astray. I'm glad you like my card. I felt the need to send it to you in my spirit. Did you notice that one of the smile faces were different from all the rest? That's you, Carl. You stand out among the rest. And the big smiley face is me because you keep me smiling even when you are a little upset with me. Shit, I'm smiling now. I do believe you, Carl, but I don't think you can catch me before I fall every time. I think God wants us to fall sometimes so we will realize we need Him and others. Plus, I'm heavy, and I don't want you getting a hernia trying to lift me up. LOL. As for your state of affairs, I'm asking God to put a blanket of protection around you. Please be careful, soul, and get at me if you can. Smooches. Christine. Now it was time for me to plan my trip. I made calls to Carl and Darnell's unit to make sure they were not on lockdown. I drove to see Carl first and then to the town Darnell's unit was in to spend the night. I was anxious to see my baby. I had not heard from Darnell 3 weeks prior, so I didn't know what he was thinking. I assumed it might have something to do with me visiting Carl. However, I had a desire and a chance to see them both, so I took it. As I sat waiting for Carl, I noticed I was not uneasy as I was with Darnell or Tyrone. I was simply curious. When he sat across from me, I just looked at him without saying a word. I found him to be tall, dark, and fairly handsome. His eyes and skin tone reminds me of Tyrone. By Carl's appearance, I surmised him to be hardcore, but listening to what he had to say let me know he had a creamy middle on the inside. Greetings, soul, I addressed him seconds later, saying, Hey, he smiled and replied. His smile made me smile once more, and from that moment it was on. I asked him all kinds of questions and answered any he had for me. We laughed and talked for 4 hours. Neither one of us wanted the visit to end, but I was tired from the long drive. Plus, Chrissy was waiting for me. Chrissy decided to tag along for the ride, and I thank God she did. I would not have been able to pull this little excursion off without her. We had a nice, safe trip and got a chance to spend some quality time with each other. Carl made sure to write Chrissy a thank you note after our visit to let her know how appreciative he was. His letter to me stated how happy he was that I came to visit and how much better he was feeling since. He wrote, Dear Soul, Hello. I'm laughing just thinking about how come I support a woman with strength and courage for another man. To me, I see I have really changed for the better. I never dropped salt on no one, but I never have shown any type of support either. But you my girl, soul. I don't believe I have to touch or sleep with you to love you. The new love I have found within myself is different now. It's a love for people, period, who know how to love. The realness of feeling a person from within. A solid love. I'm happy for Darnell because I know he has a good woman to hold, care for, talk to, call his own, and feel as she feels about him. What man in the world could ask for more? Your heart is pure, and I don't take you being my soul lightly either. How could I know a better person than you, soul? Every day of the week, I wait by my door when they pass out mail. I know you are busy and don't have time to write all the time, but I thank you for doing what you have already. I feel wonderful and grateful for having you as my soul. Thank you for everything. I hope you like the card. You will forever be my one and only soul. If I had known you was the right woman to love as my soul and best friend, I would have written you the first time you wrote. Damn, I'm sorry for waiting so long. Me and you would have been the chillest by now, huh? Then again, we're already there. You haven't heard it much from me, but I do love you. It's not too many women in this world I do love, and to be honest, you are the first woman I ever loved who was not related. I guess you just knew how to hold my heart when it counted the most, huh? I just wish it was more women like you around. I guess I'm wishing too hard because that will never come true. But it's all good. You are a part of me. It was very nice to spend some time with Carl. I felt honored that he allowed me to get close to him. He didn't seem like the type to do so willy nilly. He has a nice smile and his eyes are pretty too. I thought he looked a little like Tyrone. Now, every time I read one of his letters, I can picture his face. Carl and I continue to write once a week. Whew, all right, y'all. That's chapter 22. Chapter 21. Ouch. I made it chapter 21. The next chapter is chapter 22. The countdown continues. That's more letters between me and Darnell. All right. Whew, that's my time. Peace.